Ever notice how the thing you started for freedom can slowly start to feel like a trap? You wanted flexibility, space, joy, and somehow ended up buried in to do lists, deadlines, and an inbox that never sleeps. It's a common story in the online business world, but it doesn't have to be yours. Today, we're going to talk about building a business that actually honors your life, not hijacks it. Welcome back to Boldly Introverted, the online business podcast. I'm glad you're here today because we're talking about something that hits close to home for many of us. Building a business that leaves room for your actual life. It sounds simple, right? But in a world that glorifies hustle and algorithms that reward constant output, it can feel almost rebellious to say, I want more space, I want ease, and I want joy. I recently wrote a blog post about this idea, how to create a business that honors your energy and the life you want to live. And in today's episode, we're going to take that conversation deeper. Because here's the truth. Most of us started our businesses for freedom and flexibility. But somewhere along the way, it's easy to slip into patterns that feel like the opposite. Overcommitment, exhaustion, feeling like your business owns you instead of the other way around. This episode is an invitation to step off that path and onto one that feels more intentional. I'll share mindset shifts and practical strategies about creating a business that supports your whole life, not just your bank account. And no, you don't have to hustle harder to make this happen. You just need a little clarity, a few shifts, and permission to do things your way. So grab your tea or coffee, settle in, and let's have an honest conversation about what it really looks like to build a business that honors you. I want to talk through a few ideas today that can really change how your business feels to run. Ideas that have helped me create a more spacious, sustainable business. We're going to look at why hustle culture is such a sneaky trap and how to step out of it. We're going to talk about redefining success so it actually matches your life and values, not someone else's version. I'm going to share some simple ways systems and tools can support your balance without, turning you into a robot. We're also going to dig into designing offers that don't drain you. And finally, we're going to talk about how to build daily workflows that respect your natural energy and rhythms. You don't have to do all of this at once. Just think of it as an invitation to start shifting pieces of your business towards something that feels more life-giving, more you. So let's start with hustle culture and why it doesn't work for many of us, because this is where so many of us get stuck without even realizing it. Hustle culture is everywhere in the online business space. The subtle message is the more you do, the more valuable you are. The more hours you work, the more serious you must be about being successful. But here's what I've learned, sometimes the hard way. The hustle culture mindset doesn't lead to sustainable success. It leads to burnout. It drains your creativity, and it can quietly steal the joy and freedom you probably started your business to create. The problem is, it often feels normal. You scroll Instagram and see people posting about 5-figure months and 80-hour weeks. You hear advice that says you should be everywhere, all the time, posting daily, launching quarterly, building a funnel, running a community, sending emails, making reels, and it feels endless. But when every day turns into a race to do more, your energy takes the hit first. And here's the thing. Your energy is not limitless, it's precious. You need it for the actual work of running your business, but also for being present in your life, for creativity, for rest, for relationships. I used to think I could just push through and catch up on the rest later, but later rarely comes unless you actually claim it. And creativity, the heart of your business, needs breathing room, not pressure. So the first shift is recognizing that hustle isn't a badge of honor. It's a warning sign. If you're feeling tired all the time, if you dread showing up for your own business, that's your body asking you to do things differently. You're allowed to choose a slower, more intentional way. You're allowed to protect your joy and your energy, even if the noisy online world tells you otherwise. Let's move it into what it looks like to redefine success on your terms, because that's the foundation for building a business that truly fits your life. So, this is where things will start to get really personal, but in a good way. One of the reasons hustle culture takes hold so easily is because many of us are chasing someone else's version of success, often without even realizing you're doing it. I even did a podcast episode specifically about this just a couple weeks ago. It's so easy to absorb other people's goals. You know, six figures, a huge team, constant launches, viral content. And hey, if those things genuinely light you up, go for it. But if they don't, you do get to choose something different. A turning point for me was when I finally asked, what does success actually look like for me? Not what I think it should be or what I should want, not what looks good on Instagram, not what my peers are doing, just me, my values, my life, my vision. For some of you, success might mean earning enough to comfortably support your family while working a few hours a week. For others, it might mean having Fridays completely off for rest or creative play. It might mean spacious mornings or afternoon walks or long vacations or plenty of white space on your calendar. When you're clear about what success looks like for you, it becomes so much easier to make aligned decisions in your own business. You can structure your offers, your schedule, even your marketing in ways that honor your energy and your goals, not someone else's. And a key part of this is looking at your current offers and services. Are they actually aligned with your desired energy output? Are they sustainable in the long term? If not, that's a sign it's time to recalibrate. This isn't about shrinking your ambition. It's about defining success in a way that feels good and building a business that supports it. When you do that, it gets so much easier to say no to things that aren't aligned. So now I want to shift into one of the most practical ways to protect the version of success you've just defined, by using systems and tools that help you create more breathing room. Because here's the thing. Even with the clearest vision, it's really hard to honor your energy if you're constantly buried under a pile of little tasks. And that pile adds up fast if you're not intentional about how you handle it. That's where systems and tools can make a huge difference. And no, I'm not talking about turning yourself into an automations expert or spending weeks building fancy workflows. I just mean simple things that actually make your life easier. For example, automate the parts of your business that don't need your constant attention. Think email sequences, client onboarding, recurring payments. Tools like FEA Create or your email platform can handle a lot of this for you and free up hours each month that you can use for things that matter more. Then there's project management. I used to keep everything in my head. Highly not recommended. Moving to Notion and Trello and ClickUp was a game changer for me. When you can visually manage projects and clearly prioritize what matters, your brain stays way less cluttered. And the less mental energy you're spending trying to remember it all, the more you have for creativity and connection. And one more thing, scheduling. This is one of the most powerful shifts you can make. Block your personal time first. Before the business fills your calendar, use tools like Google Calendar or ClickUp to create those boundaries. If you don't claim space for your life first, business will take it by default. The point here isn't to make everything hyper-efficient, but to create space. Space to think, to rest, to create, and to show up fully for both your business and your life. So let's talk about another important piece of this puzzle, designing offers that actually support your energy instead of draining it. This is one of the biggest levers you have when it comes to building a business that respects your energy. Not all business models are created equal. Some will naturally support a spacious, balanced way of working, others not so much. If your entire income depends on high-touch, live, one-on-one services, it can be really easy to max out your energy and your time before you ever hit your income goals. Scalable offers can be a huge help here. Think digital products, group programs, self-paced courses, memberships. These give you the ability to serve more people without having to trade time for money on every transaction. They also create more flexibility, so you can build in time for rest, creativity, and recovery. If you do love offering one-on-one services, that's great, but it's key to structure your calendar intentionally. Build in buffer time between calls, protect days for non-client work and creative space. Make sure your pricing supports the energetic cost of delivering that service, not just the time on the clock. Your business model should feel sustainable, not draining. If you often find yourself dreading client calls or scrambling to meet delivery timelines, it's worth taking a step back to reassess your offer mix and your capacity. The goal is to create a business where your offers and services support your energy, not constantly stretch it thin. Because the more aligned your offers are, the more consistently and joyfully you can show up for the people you serve. So now let's bring it down to your day-to-day, because even the best systems and most aligned offers can't fully protect your energy if your daily workflow is just working against you. One thing I've learned, your body and your brain have natural rhythms. You can't force yourself to be on all the time without paying a price. But most traditional work structures, and even a lot of advice in the online space, completely ignore this reality. That's why one of the most supportive things you can do is to design your workflow around how you actually function best. Work in focused blocks that match your energy peaks. For some people, that's first thing in the morning. For others, it could be late afternoon. Pay attention to when you naturally feel most creative or clear-headed, and guard that time for your most important work. And if this is an area where you'd like a little bit more structure, I've actually created a course inside my membership called Time Planning for New Entrepreneurs. It walks you through how to plan your time intentionally, using time blocks and aligning your schedule with your natural energy so you can create days that feel supportive instead of overwhelming. A big part of that is learning to build in the right kinds of breaks and buffer time. Packing your calendar to the brim leaves no room for the unexpected or for joy. So give yourself space between meetings, space between focused work blocks, and space for actual rest. Buffer time is also a form of self-compassion. It helps you absorb life's little bumps, a sick kid or a tech issue or just a low energy day without your whole week completely falling apart. And perhaps most essential of all, practice intentional unplugging. Full disconnection is not a luxury. It's a requirement if you want to create sustainability and avoid burnout. Whether that looks like screen-free weekends, no work evenings, or fully offline vacations, choose what works for you and honor it. Your business will not fall apart if you take time away. In fact, it will likely be stronger because you'll return with more energy, creativity, and perspective. Remember, building a business that honors your life isn't about finding some perfect balance every day. It's about creating rhythms and systems that support you over the long haul so you can keep showing up fully, not frantically. Before we close, I just want to leave you with this. You don't have to earn your worth through exhaustion. You don't have to prove your commitment by filling every single minute. You get to build a business that honors your life. One that supports your energy, your relationships, your creativity, and your well-being. And that work isn't selfish, it's necessary. The more nourished you are, the more sustainably you can serve others. The more space you have, the more your best ideas will be able to come through. So wherever you are right now, whether you're just beginning to think about these shifts or you're already deep in this kind of intentional design, I hope today gave you permission to trust your own way. You know what's best for you. Let that guide you, just one choice at a time. If this episode resonated with you, I'd love to invite you inside my membership. We explore exactly these kinds of shifts, how to build a business that supports your energy and your life, not just your income. If you want practical tools and honest conversations, I would love for you to join us. You can hop on the waitlist anytime. The link is in the show notes. And in the meantime, take one small step this week to create a little more space for yourself. You deserve it. And as always, thank you so much for listening.